Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Thunder and Spark. This is episode what?
4.
4?
17.
Episode 4.
17.
Of Thunder and Spark. 87.
As always, could be number 4, could be the last. Who knows?
We don't know. We don't know what'll happen today, tomorrow.
I need 1,000 views before I'm ready to go.
Seriously, this may never see the light of day. Last I checked, we were 81 views short. So it's in my rider.
Candy Thunder and I are also operating on like almost no sleep. So this is going to be an interesting podcast. We'll see what happens. We wanted to start
really
off
fun.
with some BTS questions that came from the VIP group. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So one of the questions that's on here is tips for starting a new job after being at a job for a while. I was thinking about this as we were setting up, and I'm like, I am probably the worst person to ask that because I've been doing this since 2008.
Same. I've been here since 2014.
But where were you before that, though?
She was at Cable One, and
Okay,
so I
I-
pulled her away.
Think before this, before Storm.
Yes. So whenever I started at Cable One, I worked with a group like after the Joplin tornado, and it was like you were in your car, like you were going all day, and I went to an office setting that was in like line with my degree. It was an advertising group. I think the biggest thing for me was like writing down everything that somebody told me. So I would write down like quick notes, and then I would go back and type those notes, and I made myself a binder of how-tos for everything, so I didn't have to ask the same question more than once. That was my big thing when I started at that job. And then the person that took over after I left, I gave them the how-to binder, so they had that to start their job and they could add to it. I don't know if it still exists. That was 10 years ago.
I mean, the
It'd
benefit.
be funny to find it.
I know.
The benefit for you was creating the how-to binder, though.
Yeah, I have like I feel like a borderline like ADHD or ADD. So it's hard for me to like stay focused. So I have to write when we're doing like when they're teaching me things, I have to write them down in order to keep myself like so I don't daydream or like go like hazy stare, like looking at them. I have to write it down.
Next time I'm trying to tell Candy Thunder something that I want her to remember, I'm going to be like,
write it down.
You grab your pen and paper now.
That's funny because when I tell you we're doing things, you're like, I've never heard this before.
Yeah, most of the time it's because
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, thank
This
you.
is the first I'm hearing of this.
you tell me that we're going to do things in your head, but not in real life.
That might be accurate.
And then we have this handy dandy thing called a calendar that just rarely gets put to use. So like I use it for family functions and for everything. And I'll find out 24 hours in advance that we have a birthday party this weekend. And I'm like, why not just put it on the calendar? It's handy.
I don't know.
It's so cool. I could tell you like what you talk about with
living
starting a
on
new
the
job.
edge.
Yeah, living on the edge.
Living on the edge. Because you handle surprises and change so well.
don't
that
use
it's great.
them calendars.
On Sunday, I had something on the calendar, but it was on my personal calendar, not one that's shared to him. And I was like, well, at least, I got it there. Like it's halfway right.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Like,
Good
it's
job.
an improvement.
You get an A for effort there.
His go-to line, though, is, this is the first I'm hearing of this.
It happens a lot.
I'm hearing of this.
And I need plans. Like I make plans.
He needs plans.
I make plans at least 2 days in advance. And if the balk gets eroded, if the boat gets rocked,
It's like, where's that even?
if
What
the
even is
boat
that,
gets
Candy?
rocked and that plan gets scrapped, which usually it does, then I'm sent into a tizzy of emotional instability.
I don't even know what that balk
The
gets
balk
rocked.
gets
Eroded.
The balk gets eroded.
The start of far or far to start.
Don't balk the road.
Yeah.
That's going to be the t-shirt. Don't balk the road.
Start of far.
Far to star.
Yeah.
Oh, far to star. What you said about starting a job and writing things down so that you don't have to ask things multiple times is huge. That's a huge, huge deal that I wish more people did, because I know one of our pet peeves here is having to tell people things, the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And we've had some experiences where we've had to tell like 30 times
and
to do the same thing.
Speaking of that, the one thing you should not do while you're starting a new job is when you go to a new job, just don't act like you're the smartest person in the room, because more than likely you probably aren't.
And start trying to change everything as soon as you get there.
You're going to look like a jabroni to your coworkers. So
Tony has personal experience.
Yeah.
He's not the one who did that.
it was me. It's me. Hi. No problem. It's me. No, like when you go to a new environment and you go to, I feel like especially when you go to a small small office environment. Like it's very important to
Theoretically, this didn't happen.
This is theoretically happened. Can we do the whole, like, I'm not going to say their name and then say it and then beep it? No, but it's one of those things, like, especially when you have a small team, like we have, 6 people, and it's very important that you gel with those people and that you build up, like, camaraderie with them and you build up trust with them. And, like, it's okay to be like, I need help with this, or hey, how do you do it? And understand, like, it's important to understand why things are being done the way they are. And like, if you have a way to improve that, that's fine. But like, it's important to understand why things are the way they are, because chances are you're going to this job and I don't know what the job is that you're going to, but if you're going to a job, they have processes in place. They have a way of doing things in place. Now, does it always mean that may be the best way or the right way? Not necessarily, but in order to improve on those, it's important to know why things are done the way that they are done. And
because there is a reason.
There's a reason for that, instead of just being like, well, we should do this, and this. And it's like, well, there's a reason why we don't do it that way, and asking those questions instead of coming in like you're the smartest person in the room and being arrogant. And I mean that.
Well, and I think it's the respect thing for the people that are already there that may have created those processes. And like you said, creating that camaraderie so that you have that. And once you have that relationship, then you can try to ask if something can be changed.
Like, hey, well, have you thought about doing this? And like, oh, we have it, and here's why we don't do it that way. Okay, got it. Not just like, here, I did it this. I just started doing it this way. It's like, that's not how this works, bro.
Or sometimes what they bring to the table may be better and may work better. But
it's a triggering topic.
Whenever I first saw this question, I was channeling my inner Schmidt, and I was like, you know what you do when you start a new job? You go in there and you crush it. You don't care about who hates you. You crush it. You be a rock star. You wake up and you crush it, and you go to bed and you wake up the next day and you crush it again.
Like I feel like with every job, there's a little bit of the you fake it till you make it, but just don't make that your entire personality. Don't do the entire fake it till you make it on every thing there.
Obviously, this person did not last.
You will get exposed.
I will say,
this is a hypothetical situation.
As an employer, something that we've noticed is like retaining information and the ability to learn. You don't have to walk into a job and know everything, but you have to have the ability to learn what they're trying to teach you and to retain that information.
Right.
I think those two things are the key to success in starting any new job, because if you don't have those things, and like Tony said, if you walk in trying to change everything, it's just not going to work. Like, you're going to end up pissing people off, and they're going to think that you don't have the ability to do this job because you don't have the ability to learn.
Unless you're crushing it, and then don't worry about what they think. I mean, they're going to hate you anyway.
So, like, when I got the job here at Storm, like, I felt like I was underqualified. Because I was like, it was in a completely different field than what I've done in the past. Like, I was in real estate before this, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And to a point, there's a little bit of the fake it till you make it, but then there's also the like, I'm gonna just listen and learn and ask questions and figure it out. Like, I feel like part of it was, I may not have known how to do some of the things that other people who I was up against for the job were, but like, I'm willing to learn it. Like, just show me how to do it and teach me how to do it, and I can figure it out.
And as an employer, that is more important than established skills. And that's preferred, because especially when it comes to creative industries or like specialized knowledge of things, but particularly creative, it is harder to break someone's bad habits and reteach them. And in creative industries, like photographers and video guys especially, they have like their own way of doing things, and trying to get them to throw all that out the window and learn the way that we do things and explain to them the reasons that we do things the way that we do them. But they have to learn the way that we do them in order to gel in with what our clients' expectations are. It's harder to break that. We've been bird dogging people for a long time and trying to keep an eye out for like people who have certain qualities, and those certain qualities are never like proficient in this skill. It is like the capacity to learn. That is the number one important thing. And as an employer and as like team members, the capacity to learn will be more important than anything. But not being an asset, obviously.
Sometimes it's a swing and a miss.
Well, I will say that, like you said, something like we interviewed more people that had like qualifications that fit the job better. And that was true. But you crushed it in your interview.
I'm what they call a personality hire.
And I mean, that's true.
Like, this guy may not be smart, but he's kind of funny.
No, and we knew that you were a realtor. We knew that you knew about closings and how to manage like forms and information. So I mean, there was like that part where we knew that you could learn that, like you had the ability to do the job that we were hiring you for. But it truly came down to the person that would fit in best with the small team. Yeah. And you were it, like, I think without question. Because there was like two people.
Very pregnant Candy Thunder laugh. Yeah. So hard.
I almost peed my pants.
Yeah. And she was very pregnant and apparently didn't laugh at much in those days. And I made her laugh very hard. So.
Candy was spicy when she was pregnant.
Like the first week when you were doing training stuff and she was so pregnant and she's just like, she was explaining stuff and like, it was my, like, cause I had like different times with everybody on the team, like learning what everybody's doing. And I got a Candy, she'd be reading off this thing and she was like, okay, so then you put in this thing in here and then you put over to here. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm just out of breath. I'm very pregnant.
Dude, I was like 8.5 months. I was getting ready to pop.
Well, and you've seen Navy Thunder. She's not a small child. She never has been.
No, I was big. I was big
also,
with
like
baby.
the whole starting a new job thing, some funny things will happen. Like I was here like 3 weeks or whatever, and you had just had Navy and I came in the morning and it was so funny. I was like, oh my God. I was
The video
footage is bad, but there is no video footage. No, there is no video footage.
We have the clip.
No, we do not have the clip. We do not have the clip. So I come in the morning and like, it was like 9:00 and no one was here yet. And I'd kind of been told like, hey, like, you know, just kind of wait for somebody to get there. You know, the new guy, you just don't want to mess with the security thing and all that stuff.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, okay. But it's like, you know, 9:05, 9:10. I'm like, okay, well, like I have a key and I have the little thing. I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go in. So I unlock the door, go into the little Google Nest thing, and I've got my little key fob and I go and I hold it over and
please enter your passcode.
It's not doing anything. I'm like, hold it on there again. I'm like, oh no.
Why aren't you working?
I'm like, I hold it over again and I'm like,
The alarm will sound in 10 seconds.
Oh no.
is the alarm going to go off? And then sure enough,
And it's so
the alarm goes off and it's so loud.
Security alert.
And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, Dustin and Candace are about to get a notification on their phone. And I was like, this is what they need at 9:00 in the morning with the brand new baby at home. Some jabroni who can't even undo the security system.
the look when it doesn't work and the alarm
of terror. And
it was like
panic.
Open.
The look of panic, like, what do I do?
The best part is that where that front security camera is like pretty much staring the person in the face.
And that's right over the thing.
As they disarm
so the camera's like, I love him. I'm like,
Security alert.
and then at one point there's a look, because I'm looking up, basically looking into Dustin's soul, because I know he's gonna see it.
The front door was open.
And I like look up at it like, help. Like it's literally me just looking up.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and then he can like, he turns it off and he talks over there. He's like, I'm like, sorry.
I'm pretty sure it was me who
this is great.
downloaded the clip and saved it though. I know you're not surprised.
We
by
have
this.
it. That may make his way to the VIP group.
No.
The VIP group. This whole clip is becoming a TikTok.
That's true. It would be really solid content.
Oh, okay. But the plot twist in all this is I was not to blame for this because I was given a faulty
That's true.
key fob. And I was given a faulty key fob and never told what number to punch in the event that the key fob doesn't work. So
He's passing
it
the
wasn't
blame.
his fault.
it wasn't my fault. I had a faulty key fob. So then what is funny is every time from then on out, like I had a code instead of a key fob because at the time I don't think we had like an extra key fob or something. So I would punch it in. I would stand at the front door before I would unlock it and pull up the number and look at it like 5 times and then still have it before I went and punched it in because I was like, all right. So
Wait. That's full circle because you learned something. And you fixed it, so it never happened again. Boom. That's why you were hired, Tony.
Yeah.
The front door was open.
There you go.
Yeah.
And my story about the cow.
That's true. It's for the kids.
It was funny. I knew that look, I have always been a big believer, and I'm pretty confident that I could get almost any job, whether I'm qualified for it or not, because I always say, like, just put me in the room with somebody. And I think that goes a long way for a lot of people, like,
right.
Which
I do not. I'm the opposite. Don't put me in a room with anyone.
But I feel like, I think part of the thing that sucks for like people who want, you may have a dream job out there is that they don't even get that far because of on paper, it looks like,
right.
They didn't get a degree here and they don't have this and they haven't done this, but it's like, you don't really know what that person can do until you meet with them.
Right.
Right.
And I think the secondary education, college, the approach to it is different now. The best explanation that I've heard for what the real benefit of college is that you learn to learn. Mm-hmm. It is, you may get some specialized education. And if you're going into a specific field, yes, I understand that's important. But if you're going for general education, I think it's okay to not know what you want to be when you grow up, even in college, because you're learning to learn. And those skills that you learn while in college, you can put to use. Like Candy Thunder was talking about before, she had trained herself on the best way for her to learn during that process. For sure.
I learned that in college.
So I think it's up to you to, learn how you best learn and be able to implement that and in the ways that you best absorb information. That's the thing that is really important in school, but also in life. I think as you're going, as long as you're making sure that you are doing the best thing for you to be able to perform at your best ability, that's the most important thing. And a lot of people will look at those resumes and I think say, oh, they don't have this specific knowledge or this specific experience. And I think that's a mistake, unless it's, unless they're trying to be a doctor or a scientist of some kind.
Apply to be a surgeon and be like, listen, I've watched 17 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I got this.
I can do an appy with my eyes shut.
10 blade. Give me a crash cart.
But when we look at resumes, we're seeing, this person has the ability to learn if they have that experience. Mm-hmm. But it's always been capacity has outweighed everything. And that's tough to gauge unless you actually talk to somebody. Now, there have been occasions where someone can crush it in an interview and make you believe that they have the capacity to learn and spell and
that's true.
Listen.
So it's not you, but
no, I'm saying like listen to when somebody tells you something.
Yes.
Times
that's important, but I mean it's that interview can be deceiving sometimes too, and we've learned that too. I mean, it's tough. It is tough as an employer to really know what you're diving into. So you have to consider all those things, but at the end of the day, it's a gamble no matter what.
Right.
I'm not allowed to choose people to be a part of the team anymore. That rule was established a long time ago. And the couple of times we deviated from it. And
they've both.
I have rose tinted glasses and always, always assume that everyone's intentions are great and that they're going to learn what they need to learn.
We had a red flag thing for like people in real life.
Yeah.
My boss at Cable One, like 6 months after I was there, she was like, "No, Candace, you tanked your interview. Like you were awful. Like you weren't selected for the job." But the person that had interviewed with me, they actually ended up moving her into like an AE account executive position. So I was the next like best qualified for the job. But it turned out that the person that they hired for the AE, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but it's just funny because of what you said. She was qualified for that job, but she sucked.
Yeah.
Like she didn't like the job. Yeah. She hated it. She had no idea how to use Excel, which was a big part of that job. And I had to do like her stuff for her. And then once my bosses saw like how I worked and how I could learn, she's like, "You're terrible in the interview process. Like you suck." And she's like, "You need to work on that." She's like, "Because you're actually really good at what you do." And I'm like, "I know, I'm an introvert. Like it's hard for me to open up, in that short, like 20, 30-minute interview process." Right. And you know who my boss was.
Yeah. And the funny, I understand, or I noticed the other day in one of the video edits that we had published as a TikTok story that I said the funny part is And I said that like 4 times in a row. Like, the funny part is this. Oh, the funny part is it. Oh,
It's your thing.
apparently that's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. The funny part is.
But so the biggest tip I would say is the learning thing. I think that, but I think it's important to be upfront with whoever's hired you in the beginning and be like, this is how I learn.
That's a
Because
good
like
idea.
in my interview with them, like it was very much like I told them, like, I'm a hands-on learner. Like, I just need to do it. So the whole training process through everything, it was just like, here, we're going to do it with, like, you're going to watch us do it. We're going to do it together. So that way you can know. And then it turned into, here, just go ahead and do it. Here's, how to do it. Just try it and we'll edit it and do what we need to do from there.
Yep.
Right.
Because if you're a reader, if you're if you hear things better, like however it is, like, I think just be upfront with them and be like, this is how I learn. And then it's also like, as the employer, like, you need to be open to helping them learn how to learn.
Right.
Teaching them how to do it in the way that they learn too. So it works out for everybody, because otherwise it could be a disaster. But
And Tony Spark is down to the point where he's handling the intro calls himself. Like, he's handling the first conversations with people that are looking at working with us. Like one he has today, this afternoon. He's flying solo on that.
okay. All right.
Oh, that's not happening. I'm just kidding. I was like, this morning I thought it was both of you.
This is what Dusty likes to do when Dusty, it's funny because Mr. Calendar will have not a lot on his calendar, but then always there's just something that happens to come up on a call. And he's like, yeah, I think you got this one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, my calendar is only events. It doesn't dictate my workload.
His go-to line is, he's like, yeah, I got too much going on. I just need, you can take care of it.
He doesn't need me. And Tony Spark on calls, he's a social butterfly, thrives when I'm not on the call.
I would say that's accurate.
If I am on the call, I think he defaults to like the back seat. And
sometimes it's hard to get a word in edgewise with this guy.
Hey, I get it.
How do you feel sitting in the middle of both of you two?
I get it.
I'm like, but I miss my window.
Just raise your hand.
I have something to add.
Raise your hand and wait.
Okay. Speaking of Tony Spark doing his job, we're going to skip the next 2 VIP questions and save those for the next Thunder and Spark. But we are going to.
So ready for number 3. I was so ready.
But we're going to come back to it on the next one.
Well, we only spent an hour on the first one.
I know.
Why?
The Dusty Thunder Live was featured on a webinar, like for a how to go live or like what to do during a live. And I did want to mention that because I thought that was really, really freaking cool. That they showcase some of the things that we do on our live. And this was the agency that works with TikTok Live. So I thought that was really cool, and claps to both of you for doing that.
Yo. It is pretty cool. And that structure, that's all Tony Spark. Like the gifting structure and gift goals and how we go about it. And that was the thing that they really wanted to showcase.
Yeah.
Also, like the general structure of the show and how we do it and how we bring other people on, like what kind of rewards we do, that kind of stuff. But they see us climb rankings, they see the activity, and their question is always like, why aren't you doing this every day? Because of course,
we would go insane.
Yeah, it's too much.
It requires so much work to be able to put that one show on. That doing it every day would be like we'd be able to do nothing else.
It would. Yeah.
We are going to do a later show. I think the week of Thanksgiving. I think we're going to do a Tuesday later show. I think
also Dusty couldn't handle doing it more than one day.
No, I think it's hard.
It takes a lot to do that and to be on camera and be Dusty Thunder and go through all that stuff. Like, it's a lot, and it's fun. Like, I mean, it's fun when we do it, which there was a video, like we put the video up of everything that goes into it, and I think that's one of the things that makes us a little bit different. I think probably pretty different than a lot of creators out there who go live. Like, it's not all just random and thrown up there. Like, it's hours of work that go into.
We plan it as a show,
creating it. I mean, it's basically like creating a show. It's planning. It's finding stories. It's it's creating the structure. It's just so much that goes into it that it would literally become a full-time job just to do that if we did it multiple times a week. Like, it would just be. That would be the job, is just doing that.
Speaking of production, we're actually giving cues, like too dusty while the show is going on for him to read, for him to know like what to do next.
If
so I mean,
that's in the chat. If we've met the gift goal, if it's
if I'm rambling,
sometimes he tends to ramble. Sometimes it's like
we do the Monica from Friends. That's like,
come on,
I require a lot of.
And sometimes I'll hold up the little next cue card, and he sees it, and then he'll just keep going.
He's like, I've got a thought, and it's coming.
He's like,
it's coming to fruition.
You over there, and I'm like, okay, well then move along. We've got it.
There are days, and I think this most recent live was one of them. But there are days whenever, like, I am just not feeling it. Whenever I either feel like shit or like I'm,
you had a bad headache on Wednesday.
Yeah, I had like really a migraine type headache. And there are days where I'm like, oh shit, like I don't know how this is gonna go. And you just have to flip the switch. It takes a lot to do that. And it's cool that we were featured on a webinar as an example of what to do. And a lot of work goes into it from everybody's part, mostly with these guys, because I'm just the monkey that gets up on camera and dances during the show. And as soon as the show is over, like I'm like,
yeah.
But you're so famous.
But it also wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you guys watching, because you guys could have hated it. And that's kind of what we talked about in the beginning. We were like, they may hate it.
Yep.
And if they hate it, we'll just stop doing it. So if if you guys didn't like it, we wouldn't do it.
Oh my gosh,
we've experimented a lot.
It seems like it's become kind of fun, and I mean I look forward to the Wednesday lives. I think they're fun, and especially on the days where, like on Caden's birthday or your birthday, like those lives get wild. Like Caden's was crazy. We were like all of a sudden it was kind of a slow start, and then it just took off, and it was like
we're getting ready to do Halloween.
Yeah. I am so excited for that. Really so excited. I'm gonna have to rethink my Taylor Swift costume though after the chat. I don't want to split the audience. My fake bangs came in. They were not as epic as I thought they were going to be. They look good. They look like they came straight from
Thunder
the 80s.
wore them for a while. That was funny.
My
bangs.
My costume is the guy who doesn't dress up. That's the leading.
Your Chandler Bing.
Yeah. We really need to find the Ted costume. Okay. Maybe they have it at Spirit House.
So we are going to kind of do things a little bit different. Tony and I found some stories that led into like kind of good conversation topics. So we're going to rock those out instead of just having the normal conversations. So these are a few Reddit stories that we're going to read.
Do you want to read the story first and then?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So the first story that we're going to cover here is my wife is addicted to making up Reddit stories for TikTok and it's ruining my marriage. From the now deleted post, I caught my husband with my daughter. Guy on Reddit is calling out his wife for making up stories and posting them to Reddit. He claims she is addicted and can't stop. Liz, what the actual is this story? You showed me that you were posting this right before you went to bed. I hope you wake up and see this. This is not healthy, and I've been telling you not to post stories on Reddit anymore. It's a new throwaway, a new nightmare scenario that you keep creating so you can get some chuck on TikTok to make a video about it while playing Minecraft parkour.
Hold on. I would just like to note that we do have a Chuck t-shirt if you're interested in that.
We do.
I'm plugging that right now and it's super cute.
I'm taking your ass to therapy, and if you refuse, it's over. I'm tired of it. I cannot reach you like I have been, as you have shut down any attempt to talk about this issue, so everyone here deserves to know the truth. This is 100% a completely fabricated story. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I see your phone light on from the guest bedroom since you chose to sleep in there tonight. Yeah, now you go ahead and go to sleep after I catch you. Just know if you get fired from your job for this and you still can't quit, it's over for us. I hate to shame you publicly like this, but you won't listen to me or anyone else. September 11th, 2023. Hello, Reddit. Longtime lurker and first-time poster here. Need some advice. My wife of 3 years, aged 25, has been constantly on Reddit and TikTok for the past 8 months to the point where both take up anywhere from 9 to 13 hours of her battery usage.
Holy moly.
She got into them heavily after I sent her one, and it just spiraled to the point where she's writing her own for clout, I guess. 2 of them that I know she wrote herself were about a man whose dad thought he was cheating on his boyfriend and cut him off for a year, then coming back begging to reconcile. One that she showed me she wrote earlier tonight before bed was where a 43-year-old woman found her husband cheating with their 20-year-old stepdaughter. What the actual by the way. That one she posted, and it's already gained so much traction that it'll probably be on TikTok by morning. We work at the same company, and she's gotten written up for being on her phone multiple times to the point where she might get fired. I've tried to get her to go to therapy because a lot of these are disturbing scenarios she's writing about, but she just says it's a creative outlet. I'm worried for her, and honestly, if she doesn't quit, I'm most likely going to separate from her, as she's shown me such a dark and twisted side of her mind through these. Relevant comment, I never thought I would have expected to read about a relationship between two grown adults ruined by Reddit. My God, we've come a long way. Original OP replied, it's actually appalling. I only ever use Reddit for news or stocks and junk. Meanwhile, she's actually seriously addicted. Comment, if she's that addicted, she's going to find this if it gains traction. How do you feel about that? Original OP replied, I hope she does. I hope it's a wake-up call. She brushed it off whenever I tried to make a conversation about it. One of these stories I mentioned is already locked and deleted, so it's a start. Comment, or is this his wife and a new wave of stories? The plot thickens. Original OP replied, you, I laughed. You have my upvote. Original OP's replied to his wife, Liz, go to bed. Update September 17th, 2023. Hi guys, long story short, we're getting marriage counseling and therapy. As far as I know, she hasn't made any new accounts and hasn't posted any other stories on here other than her last one. Her boss came to me and commented after her third day post Reddit fight and commented on her work ethic, stating that she has improved. Not remarkably improved, but it's a good start. I did get Liz's permission to make this update, as I want to be as fair as possible, but just know that she said herself that every one of your comments gave her a brutally fair reality check. I tried telling her what some of y'all told me, in that if she wants to write horror, go do it in one of the horror story subreddits, but that the off my chest one wasn't a good spot for that. Anyways, we're slowly getting better and spending more time with her. I've also come to realize that I haven't been a perfect partner to her, and I've started packing her lunch as well as buying her flowers every day after work. I realized how much I truly love this woman, and I do not ever want to push her away or lose her. So yeah, thanks to everyone for their support. Also, making an edit here, please do not harass anyone posting any stories on the pretense or feeling that they might be Liz. She has given me zero reason to not trust her, as she has had less phone usage at both time and work and at home. And it's also discrediting other people who are experiencing in real life events and venting to Reddit about them. I know I am to blame for part of that, and I deeply apologize to anyone who has been falsely labeled as Liz. The irony of it all, September 17th, 2023. My coworker just showed me that the post I made did in fact get made into a few TikToks. Oh, the irony.
Well, guess what? It's getting ready to be another one.
Hey.
So
I agree with the plot thickens. I
wonder if it's the wife.
I think that it's the wife creating all of this. I don't really think there is a husband. I think that this is like Inception. Like it's just
Reddit Inception.
Reddit Inception, where it's just like a story within a story within a story from the same person, but multiple personalities. This is like Split or Glass or whatever that one's called at this point.
We get, we read, Tony and I specifically read so many Reddit stories.
Lots of stories.
And you never know if a story is true or if it's not true. Like, you get what you get. And we talked about this, but I mean, watching Dusty read those stories and like interacting with him and watching his TikToks, I feel like it's entertainment purposes. Like, we're not here to specifically tell someone exactly what they should or shouldn't do. We know that we're only getting one side of the story. But I think if you're going to be a part of the AITA craze on TikTok, you have to know, like,
some of those are going to be.
Yeah. I mean, you just never, anybody can post on Reddit. Anybody can do anything. And you're only going to get one side of the story. If it is a real story, you're only going to get one side.
I think follower submissions for us are a little bit different, because those are people who are directly reaching out to us with their story. But also, we talked early on in this adventure of ours, about like, our stories, are these stories real? And then people would comment and be like, this can't be real.
Right.
And my personal policy on it from day one has been, if we're not experiencing this in our real life, it's not real to us anyway.
Right.
Like, there's no way for us to know if it's real or not. Yeah. It's us, reflecting on a situation that someone else is going through, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And yeah, you hope that everything on there is real, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's not real to us. We're not going through it. It's not someone that we know personally that's going through it. So why the does it matter?
Yeah. And I think with, even we get the follower submissions and we get all that, but who's to say any of those are even real? Like you don't listen. I know that this may be a shocker for some of you out there, but everything you read on the internet is not real. Just take a moment for that.
What?
Yeah. I know. Breaking news. Put the breaking news banner across the bottom.
Would it make it any less entertaining if we read a story and then later on found out that it was a fake story?
No, because you're still invested in the story. You're still, you go see a movie, you go watch a TV show, you watch
reality TV isn't real.
None of it's real.
Reality TV is scripted. They create arguments, they create fights. We're not creating like stories and stuff, but we are. I'm sure some of the shit that we read is not real. Like there's no doubt.
Some of them are so insane that there is no way that they could be real. Like,
but there's
some of them that it's like, okay.
But there's some that you read and like just as a story aspect, I'm like, I'm invested. Like the one about, and you even commented so many times, like this is so well written. And when you find a story that's well written and it like keeps you hooked, like I enjoy those stories, and then I enjoy even more hearing you read those stories for me. And like I said, I don't know, people on Reddit were like, this can't be real, there's no way this is real, and I'm like, I don't know, but it's a damn good story, so kudos to whoever put this out there, even if it's not, or if it is, I don't know.
And it's no different than watching a TV show. Like it's no different than watching a TV show or watching a clip like Saturday Night Live or something like that's all it is. Like it's a story. And so does it matter whether it's real or not? Who cares? You're never going to meet that person. If it is real, you're never going to interact with that person.
Either way, it's not real to you.
The only way you're going to know if it's real is if the story is like, oh shit, wait a minute, I think that's Jim.
Right.
Like, I think I know this story. Like I know for that. But if not, like, does it? And again, does it matter? Does it matter if it's real? I don't think it does. You're watching TikToks, you're watching YouTube videos, you're listening to these stories for entertainment, and that's what it's doing, whether it's real or not. There's literally no way to know if it's real or not, because anybody can write anything anywhere on the internet. And yes, it's probably not true, but you can't believe everything you see on the internet. I know. It's shocking.
I think it's
shocking revelation.
No matter what, it's a hypothetical. Yeah. For me, whenever I'm reading these stories, it's like if I did experience this, what would I do? Or, if I was in this situation, or in this situation, could something have been done differently to avoid this cluster calamity? Like that's how I'm viewing it. Is there a solution to be had here, or is someone just a blazing asshole and that's the end of it? Like I'm always trying to dissect it, and whether or not that story I found out was real or not, it wouldn't affect it at all. Like I'm still it's a hypothetical to me no matter what.
Well, and here's the thing, like we've had so many people reach out and say, hey, I learned this by watching your content. Like pain creates change. That's something that you always say. And you explain that, and people will write in and say, hey, you taught me this and I was able to handle this situation better. And at the end of the day, if that's what we're getting by putting this out there, then I think that's totally worth it.
And it doesn't have to be real for that. You said it doesn't have to be real for that to happen. Is because it's a story that you can relate to. Like all these stories about, oh, my mother-in-law was really shitty to me and she did this and this and this. Okay, yeah, that story may not be real, but somebody's listening to that story who does have a shitty mother-in-law and who has probably been in a situation like that, and it's giving them like, oh, like, okay, like, yeah, here's how I can handle that. And so it doesn't really matter if the story is real or not, because
I believe all those mother-in-law stories. I believe them. I believe them all. I have a great mother-in-law.
Stories are insane.
But I believe that based on how I've seen people act about their children on the internet, I believe those mother-in-law stories.
It's like any kind of art. It's really like any kind of, and I don't want to call it, I don't know if art form is the right way to say it for the stories, but like, whether it's a TV show, a movie, a song, like
entertainment,
it's some kind of entertainment that you can relate to in your life. There's a situation, like some of these will be like, oh, that's wild, or I wonder what I would do if I was in that situation. But some of them, whether it's, getting out of a bad marriage or a bad relationship, or having a problem with a sibling, and like, it's all just a way for you to relate to it. And, if Dusty can help you through that, then
and that's what
mission accomplished.
We find, and we talked about this on the Channelversary video, but we find the stories, but I don't think it would be as entertaining like you bring them to life. You make them what they are. You tell the story. So I think for some people, like that's like they always say, your voice is so soothing. Wow.
Soothing.
Yeah, I heard
soothing.
it. I heard it.
It's so soothing.
I called Brady last night.
Mike Tyson.
I called
So
Brady
soothing.
Braithy last night. So
Braithy.
clearly my thing is on full. It's up here.
What?
I know what you're saying, and we
He
will.
gets it. He
we
gets
will
it.
hear-
That's why we're married.
We will hear from a lot of people that it's therapeutic for them. You know, it doesn't matter what the story is. It's just hearing a story and hearing
tongue-tied.
an analysis of a story. It's therapeutic for them. So
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day,
And-
we have no way of knowing what's
And
real
it's
or not.
entertainment, and that's what
Right.
that's what we're all scrolling these apps for, and
We're
Yeah.
just here to
scrolling the internet
entertain.
for is just to entertain. Are you not entertained?
I was speaking of entertaining, this story entertained the shit out of me. So
I haven't read it yet.
I haven't either. so-
yay! I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's a very funny one.
I hadn't read the last one either. I had gotten the like Cliff Notes version from Candy, but I'm of the belief that person is. I think it's one person creating.
I think
all
it's
of this.
the wife.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
I think
creating
it
the
is.
drama.
And again, I think that story to me goes more into the like it's just pure entertainment and just writing stuff.
I can't imagine
there
having
is
that much time.
There probably is no wife and there is no husband and there is no any of that. I think it's just somebody creating stories, which it was entertaining. It was funny because you're sitting there going, "Oh, this person's crazy."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Reddit stories, if you're out there creating stories and creating a shit ton of stories but what do you get on Reddit? Like, what do you get for creating those stories? Because Tony and I talked about that, and I don't understand. Like clout?
It may be that, and
I
I
don't know
think
what
it
the
may.
karma
I think
thing
for
is.
some people, maybe it is just a genuine creative outlet. Like they just,
Creative writing.
it's just writing, and it's just something. Maybe that's their therapy is just to write a story and just to dream up scenarios. And
Well, and I get that, if you enjoy creative writing, but you thrive on the engagement of it. Writing an AITA story and throwing it out there is gonna get engagement much more so than one of the creative writing outlets or subreddits. It's you may get some people that review and give you kudos for your writing, but you get so much more engagement when people buy into that reality of it. I understand, why they would want to do that.
That just sounds like so much work.
seeing your
To have to,
story, seeing your story gets 2 million views or something. Like, oh, look at
yeah,
my
I guess
story.
that's true.
Yeah.
So if
People
anyone's
like
out
my
there,
writing, it's I don't know. It could be anything like that.
if anyone's out there that has ever, if we've ever read a story that you've written, come forward.
I just don't know why anybody would chase clout or followers or likes or views.
Especially not Tony. Hey, I broke 4K.
Okay.
Next story is from
You can
Relationship
unfollow.
Advice, and it is titled, "My male 34 wife, female 32, has been cutting the strings off my pajama pants, and she won't admit to it. Not sure why.
But why?
For background's sake,
He's
we
not
have been
sure.
married for 10 years. This behavior is pretty recent. This really isn't that bad, but I was hoping someone could have an explanation. Because I ask her about this and she just denies it. But we don't have kids, so it can only be her. In the last year or so, I've been discovering the tie strings for my pajama pants have been disappearing.
Random.
It can only be her removing these because we don't have kids and I'm the only one who actually has to leave the house to go to work. So she's alone in the house a lot. Her pants still have all their strings, but none of mine do. I have bought more pants to replace the ones with missing strings, but those eventually go missing as well. We have a good relationship, and I don't know why she denies it when I ask about it. It's really not that big of a deal, so I don't really press the issue. It's just really bizarre. She's a bit of a prankster, and so am I. I don't know what the point of the prank is, if this indeed is some sort of practical joke. Does anyone else have some kind of experience with this sort of thing? Update. Okay, so I just got home and checked inside the waistbands of all my pajama pants. I only have 5 of them, so it didn't take long. No strings in them, so they definitely didn't retract. I need to get some sleep, so I'll check the washer drum and filter when I wake up. Okay, so people were telling me.
What do you guys think is happening? Don't look at the screen. What do you guys think is happening?
So I think that when you wash pants sometimes and you wash them and then when you dry them too, I think sometimes maybe they just get caught in the thing. Like
They get tangled.
I have one like a pair of gym shorts that has the string on it, and every time I pull it out of the dryer, it is so bunched together because the string has gotten caught and twisted. So maybe it's gotten caught in there. And then when wife's doing laundry, she comes out and sees the dryer and she's like, oh, the string came out, and throws the string away.
But she's not telling him.
I think it's the pajama pant gnomes.
Wait, did it say he's confronted her about it?
Yeah.
I thought he said, and she denied it. And he said he doesn't know why she's denying it because it has to be her.
Is she denying that she's taken them out?
Yeah, she's denying that.
Of course, I guess then she could just be like, well, they came out in the dryer and I threw them away.
The weird part is that hers still have them.
Also, 5 pairs of pajama pants. I own like sweatpants.
What is that? Is that a night shirt?
Pajama pants.
Do my best to Bob Cratchit.
It's one of the best scenes in the whole show.
My best to Bob Cratchit. Okay.
Update 2. Someone in the comments suggested maybe my cat had been taking them out and hiding them, since cats tend to have hiding spots. One of his is under the couch. I just checked and I found one there. It's just one, but it's a start. I'm going to check his other spots too. Update 3. Okay, so when my wife woke up, I told her about finding a string in our cat's hiding spot. She was amused and wanted to help me look at the other spots for them too. Well, none of his other known spots had them, but she noticed something weird about the back of our other couch. It had a small hole in the bottom of it. I shined a flashlight in the hole and found a whole bunch of random stuff in there. We took the cushion off of this section of the couch and cut a hole next to the spring, and voila! We found his true secret stash. All of my strings were in there. Not only that, but we had found pretty much all of my wife's missing smaller squishmallows and her missing AirPods. We even found a missing pendant that we've been trying to find for years. I'm going to buy her a box of chocolate.
This cat is like Puss in Boots from Shrek.
Yeah. Headline: Cat causes divorce. You just see them screaming at each other like, where are my fucking pajama pants strings? I don't have them. You took them. I know you did. And he's just storming through the house. He's ripping the strings out of her pajama pants.
Just for payback.
And he's like, if I can't have them, you can't either.
That reminds me of the Dane Cook vicious circle thing. Whenever he's like, he does a B&E, but he just opens the door and doesn't take anything. And he's like, years later, they're like, what did he take? Did he take the batteries and replace it with old batteries?
If I, like the wife though, like every time he makes you mad now, just like go take a string out and be like, we'll see about this.
Or poke him down into the pants so you can't get him out.
That's the worst.
The best part of this is that he said it's not a big deal, so he hadn't really pressed it. So I don't think he's gotten into an argument with her. But he's brought it up several times, and each time she denies it. But he walks away like, I know what you.
Yeah.
And it may not be an argument, but it's probably one of those very passive aggressive, like, seriously, another pair, another string gone. He's like, "What are you taking them?"
He's secretly resenting her.
What are you building?
Seriously, just like seriously, just like tell me that you're taking them out of there. It's like, I'm not taking them. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, those conversations are being had.
We have those conversations.
Like, that's funny that it's a cat. Just the Puss in Boots. Like, he's just like, the cat's just sitting back there, like looking like, like every time he brings it up to the wife, the cat's just like, you don't know what it's at.
Our cat's like a stealthy murderer of small rodents. And she does not play. She's not a playful cat.
No, she does every once in a blue moon, but she only plays between the hours of like 2 and 4 a.m.
That's true.
You'll hear her thumping through the house and playing with some kind of ball or something. And you're like, what the is going on?
And then like 4 or 5 a.m. and she'll come lay with Luna and cuddle up, and she purrs so loud. It's like she has a broken motor.
Yep.
And we're like, oh my gosh.
She sounds like a gas weed eater.
Brrr, brrr. It's like it's so much louder than I've ever heard any cat.
Like, who's
purr.
weed eating at this time?
Yeah.
But her meow is off too. We've talked about that before.
A broken squeaker.
So it's like, I don't know if there's something amiss in there. I don't know. She came with the house. So. But she's always she's clearly our best pet.
Missing part of her tail. She's scrappy. Her voice box is broken. She's Aria. She's a scrappy cat.
She's scrappy.
No, in our house it's phone chargers that go missing, but it's usually the children.
It's the teenager, 100%.
All right, we
It's
ready
like
for
you just find in their rooms just like a nest
that and
of just phone chargers.
what are they? The charging block things.
Yes.
Like, well, yeah. Hairbrushes.
Oh yeah, the girls are to the age now where
My socks,
yes, socks. Like
My-
socks is a big deal for
my clothes,
Yeah,
Everything.
everything that I own is no longer safe.
my soul.
I understand.
owns nothing.
I understand why my mom got so angry when I borrowed her mascara. And then, like, in the morning when she's getting ready, she's like, damn it, Candace, bring it back.
And now you're like,
And now I'm like, I finally
this is
understand.
payback. It's just
Finally
payback.
You're gonna
understand.
start keeping all your shit in like a lockbox.
I have no socks. I have too much shitty socks.
Listen, just put the little Nest security thing in it. Give them all a key fob and make sure none of them work.
Yeah.
And
There
then
you go.
just be like, yeah, you can use your key fob. Go in there and get
There
it.
you
And
go.
then the alarm goes off, and you just hear Candace yell from the other side of the room, "Leave my shit alone!"
I do have one of those keypad like tabletop safes that you can
yeah.
put in your closet and just put your socks in there. That'd be great.
Well, I went up to Ava's room and I don't think I was putting stuff away or I was gathering stuff to like bring her more clothes for a sleepover. And I opened her sock drawer and it was so full, I couldn't even open it. Like there were so many socks
You're
in
like,
there.
damn it, there they all are.
And so I picked out a bunch that I thought belonged to me and I had a pile and then I came downstairs and I left them up there and I was like, damn it. And she's like, what's the pile of socks in my room? I'm like, they're mine. Bring them and put them in my drawer.
She's like, okay.
Are they in your drawer?
No, she never brought them down and I never went to go get them because that's a long hike. It's really not. It's like 20 steps. But.
This is also the same kid that will put like shoes in her bag and baby jacket at the bottom of the stairs. Instead of taking them up and then step over them 20 times instead of picking them up. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they haven't made it down yet. All right, you ready for the third story here? We do have a trigger warning for this story.
It's pretty serious.
Here's the written trigger warning, ladies and gentlemen. And now we officially enter the Taylor portion of the programming.
If you don't want to hear it,
For all of you sensitive internet people,
If you don't want to hear it, now's the time.
go ahead and just end the video, but make sure you subscribe first.
Take your bathroom break now, but leave your phone behind.
Yeah, just leave it playing, actually.
who does that?
Who leaves their phone behind to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody.
that's kind of the point of phones.
I know. Like, what
When's the last time you went to the bathroom without your phone?
no, we were talking about what you read when you were a kid. It was like the back of shampoo
I was
bottles.
going to say, what do? You just sort of like,
Dream.
You'd look at your
Well,
parents.
There was a reason there was like a magazine rack next to.
that's true. That's
gross.
true.
Yeah.
The magazine,
That's gross.
the magazines that are disgusting.
Yeah.
Imagine swabbing one of those and putting it under a
To
microscope.
clarify, we're not talking about dirty magazines. We're talking about like unclean magazines.
Yeah. But for all you sensitive internet people, this is the Taylor portion of the podcast.
Yeah. Just so speaking of phones and bathrooms, I have to say this because it's funny. The first iPhone that I ever had, it was at my first house, and I was peeing, obviously standing up and peeing and texting or something, and whoop, goosh.
No.
Yep. Had to do the bag of rice, had to do all that. And ever since then I had a friends don't let friends piss and text kind of thing. So if you're a dude standing up to pee, that's like the one time where you have to be super duper careful or just not do it because you're holding it like above a hazard.
That's why you need
Here's the question.
a
loopy.
loopy case.
Here's-
Loopy,
okay.
reach out.
But before the case, have you ever dropped your phone in the toilet?
I have not.
Is that the only time you ever
But I
dropped
have
your
set
phone
it
in
on
the
top of
toilet?
my
That's
car
the only time.
and it blew off down the road.
Okay, this is two questions actually. Number one, if you're in a porta potty, do you risk it or do you just keep your phone in
Keep
your
your
pocket?
phone in your
Yeah,
pocket, man.
that's a dangerous way to go. Number two,
That's,
I have only dropped my phone in the toilet one time.
Was it a porta potty?
It was not a porta potty.
Okay, thank God. Is that why your phone's blue?
I hate porta potties. They're so gross.
I was going to the bathroom and I had my phone tucked like under my chin for some reason. Listen, this
Just sounds like
this-
a bad.
This was a Ted situation too. So this
Shocking.
was really Ted thing. Finish.
He was multitasking.
And I realize, and then I lift my head up, forgetting that my phone is there, and boop, splash.
No.
How pissed were you?
No pun intended.
The phone was pretty pissed.
Ooh, yeah.
The phone was pretty pissed.
Yeah.
But this was at Arrowhead Stadium.
No.
In an
I mean, it doesn't work there anyway.
In an
So.
Arrowhead Stadium toilet. And
I've been in the men's restroom there.
you have at a Taylor concert. Anyway, yeah, I dropped it,
circle.
and it was one of the. It was a cold game. So there's a lot of layers. You know, you got to get through a lot of layers.
God.
And so you have your phone. I literally have my phone right here, and then I forgot about it, and I just heard a splash. And I'm like, oh no. So then, luckily, it was on. This is a couple
Did you pick
years
it
ago.
up?
I did pick it up. Look, first off, disclaimer: it was only my own pee, and it wasn't like it was a flushed, clean toilet. It wasn't like I peed.
I wonder if anybody's ever dropped their phone in a duty toilet.
Yeah.
It's like a
So
skid mark
luckily,
on it.
you know, the iPhones now are pretty waterproof. Yeah, gross. The iPhones now are pretty
Piss-proof.
waterproof. So here I am in my phone. Not only is it my phone has my cards in it and everything. So it's got the whole, yeah. So here I am in the third or fourth quarter of this game at Arrowhead, taking my phone and washing it under this because they're waterproof now. And I'm like, I have got to rinse this off. I'm also pretty drunk, so I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. Got it. But I did. But I took all the cards out, and I had soap, and I was like soaping all the cards and like soaping all the thing. Yeah, that's the only time I ever dropped my phone in the
So
toilet.
I understand that it was.
But of all the places to do it, like in a
This just doesn't
very
seem like a good idea.
Yeah, it was one of those. Like I was literally like, what do I do with my phone? I was like, and I was just like this, and then went like that, and it just dropped right down.
Oh
into
my
the
gosh.
toilet.
This is not about my phone, but I have to tell this story really quick before we start this. Okay, I had my key fob like tucked into my shorts pockets, and I went to the bathroom and peed. And I'm like, I flushed and I pulled my pants up, and when I did, it hit my hip bone, shot my keys into the toilet, and I had already flushed.
Was it swirling?
And it was swirling down, and I'm like, oh my God. Like there's no key. Like it's just the key fob that, you know, starts the car. And I'm freaking out, and Dustin's not here, thank God, because I felt like he would have been like, what the Candace? And I'm like immediately crying because I flushed my keys down the toilet.
You didn't just instinctively grab?
It was down. Like it was, I had flushed and it took time. Yeah. Like it was swirling down the toilet. They were gone. So anyways, I'm like, no, and it happened here, and I'm screaming from the bathroom, and a guy that used to work here was like, what's wrong in there? And I'm like, I come out and I'm like, I flushed my keys down the toilet. And he's like, well, that's a pickle. It was J-Mac.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm immediately like bawling because I'm like, I don't know what to do. So anyways, they pulled the toilet. And I had do you know the Funko Pop Jon Snow keychain? And he had like a sword.
It was the only thing that saved it.
The sword was hooked on the pipe, and Jon Snow held the wall, and I saved my keys, and I pulled them out, and the key fob still worked. It was all fine. I washed them. It was great. But Jon Snow,
King of the North, saved the day.
King of the North.
King of the North. King of the toilet.
Yeah. His sword was just stuck on the pipe, and I was like, oh my God. I should have taken a picture.
Yeah. The moral of both of those stories is
think before you pee.
Think before you pee.
Yeah. Don't bring shit into the bathroom if you're just peeing.
Also, I feel like if you're in a public toilet, you should probably just keep your phone in your pocket for that amount of time. Because, listen, there's one. No, it's all gross, but if you have to get something out of your toilet at home, is completely different than getting your.
Right. Because there I
mean, I had to reach into a toilet at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
Right.
I could not scrub my hands enough I washed my hands.
You may or may not make it.
30 times. And then I actively tried to not touch anything with my hands until we got back to the camper, and I'm like germexing the shit out of it and like scrubbing it again.
Got soaked in Clorox cleanup.
I washed my. I was wiping it down with wipes and everything. And I got
bleach bath.
I am glad that because not everybody flushes the toilets at Arrowhead. They're always full of pee, and so luckily I did flush them before. So it was only mine.
Oh God! If it had been others, that would have been disgusting.
I probably would have just left it.
Who were the Chiefs playing that game?
Oh, I don't know. It would have been. It was probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But it was a playoff game because it was cold. Because there was. Yeah, I remember it being cold.
It wasn't when we lost to the Patriots.
Okay.
To Tom Brady.
Well,
in the AFC Championship.
That'd have been insult to injury.
I was going to say, your phone had residue from not just Chiefs fans on it, right?
No.
There's some
Patriots fans.
dirty opponents fans on there, too.
Some Edelman fans.
So bad. Oh.
Edelman was such a shit that game.
Yeah, you know what? It hurts my soul to see him be like a personality on like the NFL shows now.
Who, Edelman?
Because when he came to Arrowhead, he was such a disrespectful dick.
Like he walked out of the tunnel and just kicked the pylon. like for no other reason. And then one of the people like on the sidelines had to go pick it up and put it back.
Yeah, he was just doing it and taunting Chiefs fans. He's just a dick. He's a dick. So glad to see your success, Julian. Okay, let's dive into this story here. Again, trigger warning. This is the T Swift portion of the show. So if you're not interested in that, you can check out.
We love you, and we'll see you later.
3 different messages there. All right. Title of the story is: Am I the astronaut for selling one of my best friend's Taylor Swift tickets after an argument?
Yes.
I don't usually do this, but all my friends are either not speaking to me or really angry with me, but I think I'm in the right. For context in this story, 19 female, bought the tickets to the Liverpool June 13th Taylor Swift concert for me and 2 of my friends. They both sent me the money and it was all set. We were all planning our outfits together with us all wanting to go as our favorite era. My friend, 20 female, introduced me to Taylor, as while I heard her on the radio, I was never a huge fan, but when 1989 came out, she recommended me songs she thought that I would like. And I did like them. She was always the Taylor Swift superfan, but I like Blondie too. Ever since leaving high school, though, we've been drifting apart. We met up recently to go hang out and do some shopping. We were catching up at lunch, but I started to feel like she wasn't really listening to me and only talked about herself. She's always been like that. She's only in a conversation if it's about her or her interests. So another important thing about me is that I've always been insecure about my weight. My friend knows this. While we were shopping for clothes, I picked out a really pretty dress and I said I liked it. Yeah. She just kind of stared at me and said it wouldn't look good on me. I went around and looked at the rest of the shop. I didn't buy anything, but my friend decided to buy something, that same dress. Ooh. It really annoyed me. She's always been thinner than me and made a point to talk about people complimenting her on her amazing body. We had been in a couple of shops by this point and she wanted to go home, but I hadn't found anything. I was looking for a dress to wear out clubbing. We went into another shop and I found something, but again, she said it didn't look right when she saw me try it on. At this point, I was sick of her saying this stuff, so I asked what she meant. She said it just didn't look right. I asked her again. She said it made my legs look weird. How? I asked. She went, it just doesn't fit you. I can see all of your rolls. God.
Jesus.
Ooh. I was really hurt. That was the exact reason I hate wearing anything tight. I just shouted, well, it wouldn't look good on you either, mate.
Yeah.
I left the shop and went home. I had a coworker who really wanted to see Taylor as well, so I asked her to send me the money and the ticket would be hers. She's never been that quick, not even at work. I sent my friend the money back, and then before I could even text her, she called me. She was asking why she'd done that, and I told her I wouldn't go to the concert with her, and I didn't even want to be friends with her anymore. She shouted at me, calling me names, but I just hung up. I'm not budging. All of her friends are blowing up my phone saying I'm being unfair and to give her back her ticket. She keeps trying to call me. Am I the astronaut? Update I put in the comments, but I got downvoted to hell. I've been keeping an eye on the thread and everyone agrees that I'm the asshole. Thanks for responding. I'm giving my ticket to my ex-friend. Then I'm going to avoid her because she's only ever made me feel bad about myself, especially with the comments she made about my body. I told my coworker as per comments advice. She can go to the concert and I hope she enjoys it. It's standing, so she doesn't have to hang out with them, and she doesn't want to as she thinks my friend's the asshole. I think I'll just go out clubbing in another dress that I genuinely like. Again, thanks for the response. She gave up her own ticket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She gave it back to the...
No bueno.
That's So people in the comments said don't ask questions that you don't want the answers to. But here's the thing. That does stand true. If you don't want to hear the answer, don't ask the question. But the friend told her the dress would look like shit on her and then went back and bought the same dress.
Right.
Which
that is not a friend.
Exactly what she was doing when she
that
did
is
that
not
too.
a friend.
Yeah.
So.
And the whole, like, what do you mean it doesn't look right on me? The whole rolls blurred out.
Yeah.
Should have been something more delicate, knowing that she's got issues with her
I just don't think it's your color. I don't think it's something, not just like calling her out for something that she knows she's insecure about and then buying the dress for herself.
Well, and like she said, the conversation was one-sided. If it wasn't about the friend, then the friend pretended she wasn't listening to her, which is shitty.
Classic friends who only gives a shit about themselves.
Yeah.
And you were only reconnected in this instance because you could serve her in some way. Mm-hmm. You were the facilitator of her ticket. That's the only reason that she was hanging out with you. So, I think we probably all disagree with where this headed.
Yeah.
You were not the asshole for taking that away from her. You were the owner of the ticket.
Yeah. You purchased the ticket.
Okay.
If she hadn't transferred the ticket, she didn't.
Yeah.
The friend didn't own the ticket if she hadn't transferred her. She
But
refunded
the
her
friend
money.
had said- so I think there's several different scenarios in this that all could, like, number one, your friend is your friend, because you got to put
she's
that
not a
in
friend.
quotes because she's not a friend. This person is an ASCON 1 for how she treated her that day in the shop. I think that it was obviously an emotional decision that she made by doing that. I would say that I would put her at like an ASCON 4, because I think she could have handled it a little bit differently. Maybe you have the conversation with your friend, and maybe you know that it's not going to matter whether you have that conversation or not, but to at least say, hey, heads up, like, I don't want to go to the concert with you anymore. Here's your money back for the concert ticket. Instead of just sending her the money back and then not explaining anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could have handled it and been like, I mean, I think you're perfectly within your right to say, it's not like you said, you're not going to the concert with me and you kept your money. You gave her money back. That's fine. If you were the one who bought the ticket, that's the way it works. But I think you could have had that conversation with her and been like, listen, I don't think our friendship is what I thought our friendship was.
Right.
I don't like how you treated me over this situation, and I want to be able to go to this concert with somebody that I want to go with and who will enjoy it. Here's your money back.
Right.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was the holder of the ticket, so she had the ability to choose. I understand why everybody in their friend group was pissed off. It's because it's Taylor Swift tickets.
And
it's not like she can
that's
just
true.
go pick up another one.
Well,
but
it sounds like if they were all pissed off on the other girl's behalf, it sounds like OP only serves a purpose in that friend group. If she can bring something to the table, it doesn't sound like she's actually part of the friend group.
or they only got the other girl's side of the story.
Oh yeah. That's
true.
probably true too. But OP, you absolutely should not give your ticket to that person.
No.
Like, she doesn't
I
deserve.
really hope she did not.
She does not deserve to go to the show. And Mother Taylor would not want somebody like that at her show who's mean, because she's not about that.
I don't.
Like, it's supposed to be an enjoyable experience, and that person to me is going to see Taylor Swift because that's the cool thing to do. Maybe. Is that right? Or did she say her friend introduced her to Taylor
Yeah, her
Swift?
friend
She
introduced
was the
Okay,
super
well, maybe I can get on. But listen, she's not a good person. That's the bottom line.
And now you got
Right.
bad blood.
And now you got bad blood. But listen, you deserve to go to that concert. That person does not deserve to go to that concert. It doesn't matter who was a Taylor Swift fan first, who introduced who to Taylor Swift. That doesn't matter. She was a shitty person. You got the tickets. She should not go to that concert. You gave her money back. You and your coworker should go to that. And I'm sorry that you gave up your ticket to her.
The
That
Liverpool
sucks.
show is June of next year, right?
Maybe this can get. I don't know. Did you send her the ticket, or did you just?
She would have to get the money back for the ticket.
Well, it didn't sound like she hadn't
wouldn't send her
transferred
the
any of the
ticket.
tickets, so I think she's still. Well, I don't know. Now that she's not
She
going,
said,
she's not
I
holding
gave
them
it to
all.
them. Like, did you give it to her? You say, I don't know. That sucks. You should not have given up that ticket for her.
So was
she
this
doesn't deserve it.
An ESH.
I think everyone sucks here a little
But
bit in every situation.
The friend. Fake
is-
friend sucks more. OP. Right? Fake friend 1, OP 4.
I think that's fair because she could have approached it differently, and maybe should have. Maybe it's a 3 because the
Yeah.
communication should have happened before anything. I agree with you on that, Tony.
Calm down.
I know. I dropped the thing.
You need to calm.
But
down.
here's the other part of the situation. She said it was like a standing ticket, so it wasn't. Is that what it said in there?
Yeah.
Like, it's a standing ticket. It's not a seat. Coworker should give her ticket back to the person that gave it to her. If she doesn't have to stand right beside her, coworker, like, shitty friend is going to the concert now. And OP's coworker is going to the concert now. And she even said in there she doesn't have to stand by them or hang out with
Yeah.
them. Coworker should give that ticket back to them and say, listen, you need to go to that concert. Because they don't have to sit together.
I think if her friend goes, her ex-friend goes, she's not going to go though. And her narrative to the coworker probably at this point is like, no, seriously, I don't want to.
At that
go
point,
anymore.
like, yeah, you wouldn't want to go
But
because
to give up a ticket to that show because of that.
There are some people that you can encounter in your life that will cast a dark cloud or
That's
cast a dark
true.
shadow and shit on everything for you. And I think this is, if nothing else, OP, this is an opportunity to identify a toxic person in your life and create distance. Just make sure that you don't need to be connected to that person anymore. They don't get to be in your life. They don't get to treat you like that and call you a friend.
Can you picture? I can picture now the Shitty Friends Instagram and Facebook posts about the concert.
Oh,
about
yeah.
how great
yeah.
it is and how amazing it is, and had the best time. And oh my gosh, how
And look
could
at
you
this
not
dress.
Yeah,
That's
look
what I
at
was going to say, the dress picture.
And,
Yeah.
my god! And then all the friends in the friend group hyping her up too. Like, you look so good, and oh my god, I bet it was an amazing show. I'm so glad you got to go. Like, it's gonna, So it's not over for OP. I don't think. It sounds like this whole friend group is friend is a loose word. To be used.
I hope she finds some actual friends that.
Yeah. So
Now, if you did go to the show, you'd have a decent chance of meeting some new friends.
yeah, trade the friendship bracelets.
But man, that would be hard to be there, like with all these people who you thought were your friends are going to be there too, and then trying to have a good time. That's just asking for hurt. Because something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like something's going to hurt you.
They would
in that
probably
process.
seek her out and be
to
shitty.
rub it in her face and be shitty about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, while we're on the topic of
Being shitty.
Taylor. So I think as creators who put things out on the internet, and I think it's literally a law that if we have a camera and a microphone and a platform, we have to talk about Taylor and Travis. Because
I mean, you have to.
I think it's kind of
I think it's amazing.
kind of mandatory. I think it is phenomenal.
Tony and Candy are very excited to dive into Taylor and Travis, or Trailer as they are called.
What is the name? Do they, because I see like Tavis and I see Trailer and I see
I just say Taylor and Travis.
and yeah. I don't know if we need a name.
Yeah, because Trailer doesn't
So,
work so well.
Trailer is
Here's the thing. We're hardcore Chiefs fans. Okay, you need to calm down.
Sorry.
We're hardcore Chiefs fans and then hardcore Taylor fans.
We're just talking about Trailer, just talking about
excited.
Taylor and Travis just got you super excited. The whole table jumped.
Well, I was about to drop the fidget. Okay, listen. I should have just kept playing with this, and then I tried to play with this, and I
It's like a
almost
fake Oreo from a kitchen
I
stand.
almost dropped it, and then I was trying to catch it. I was trying to catch it so it wouldn't make noise, and then instead, I basically just did a table flip, flipped the whole thing over. You know what? Taylor Travis, it's good. It's great. Moving on.
Flip the table.
I'm just going to sit on my hands for the rest of this. Okay.
We enjoy Taylor and Travis. I guess that's all there's to say about that.
Very much so. And like, I think we're all in agreement. Like, we don't understand. I mean, I think we do understand, but the negativity and the hate around it, it's like, listen, who doesn't love love? It's people who don't love love that don't like it. And I understand that people in the beginning, that it's like, oh, this is a publicity stunt. This is like, it's understandable, I guess, if you want to have that perception of it in the beginning, like, because it's a fluke and he did it on a podcast and then she shows up at a game and like, it's a huge, big deal. One is one thing. Then goes to a game in New York. Then goes to another. She's been to Kansas City multiple times.
Yeah,
I mean,
3 times
why
now.
would Taylor Swift go to Kansas City other than to play 2 sold-out nights at Arrowhead Stadium? But why would she go? You know, and then now you see them now out in public, and like what you say the other day, they did the paparazzi walk, and they were on Saturday Night Live, and
I think it is real because he's buying a new house that has more gated protection so that people aren't just driving by trying to get a view. Which good for him, because that would just suck so bad.
I mean, it does. We have to deal with it on the regular.
People are just going to be driving by for our garage sale.
We can't even get people to show up for a garage sale.
like people.
Hey, paparazzo, you want to buy something?
Man, people are going to be flocking to the garage sale to buy things that Dusty Thunder once owned. It's going to be amazing. But I think that all of this,
You're so famous.
You can't sit there and say, "Oh, this is fake." Like, this is, number one, how the two of them look when they're together. How he looks when he talks about her.
Tony, thank you.
Oh my,
so sweet.
this segment was supposed to be fun, and now it just sucks.
No, I totally agree. It looks
Real.
Yeah. And I guess
I don't think it's a question of it being real anymore. I think what people are pissed off about is that it has been milked.
Oh, the media.
The coverage.
Yeah, in the NFL, well, maybe not NFL, maybe it's CBS or
no, it's NBC. I think was the worst.
NBC. Okay, so it's media, like news outlets. You know, when they cut to her 80 times during the game instead of staying on task. Now the opposite of that, which they didn't do that at the game at all. At the game, like she wasn't even shown.
Yeah, the game didn't even know she was there.
Right, and in the next game, they hardly cut to her at all, and that was when Amazon was covering the Thursday night game.
Correct.
And so you could tell it's like different media outlets treat it differently.
Yeah.
So you could tell that this was not like this was not a unilateral decision. This is a decision being made by.
She also has pull with Prime, with Amazon, because she did do.
You think she asked them to take it easy?
So no. So Amazon actually said, like they had said going into it, that they promised to
calm down.
To calm down with it.
Yeah.
So the first one, I was at the first game where she was at, so it's kind of a big deal. But
Famous by proxy.
I was pretty close to her.
That's not true.
You were within a mile radius.
I was within 30 yards of her. Relatively speaking, thank you. I was closer than either one of you were. I was in the same building.
That's true. You didn't. I told you she was there.
You and about 400 other people, but it's fine.
That was the first.
But see, we didn't even know. And it was funny because it was the talk, because that was when it was all very new, right? And it was when it just had come out that, I think they're talking, like supposedly they're talking and supposedly they've hung out and all that. And so the talk during tailgating, and even when we're sitting there, like the people in front of us were probably 20 somethings with their dad and family there. And like, that was literally the talk of like, is she here? Do you think she's here? Like, and then all of a sudden, the broadcast starts and they show her, and then everybody's texting like, she's there. Oh my, like she's there. They never showed her one time in the stadium, not one time on the screen, not now. Here's what I'm curious to see if they're going to show her Sunday now.
Is she going to be there?
Of course, obviously.
Do you have confirmation since you're so close?
I do.
You're going to be there Sunday, right?
I will be.
Yep.
My insights.
Brady's going to go as well for his birthday.
Nice.
With his uncle.
My inside sources say that she'll be there on Sunday. But
whose inside source is me.
So the first one, the first game they showed her, everybody's like, dude, they showed her a ton.
Right.
Then she goes to the one in New York, and it was like,
yeah, but it wasn't just her.
It was nuts in the one in New York because
she
that was
so
NBC.
Many famous
They had a whole voice intro thing.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
Like it was so over the.
They ran ads.
If you hit pause on YouTube TV, they changed the thing to the heart.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yep.
The funny thing is about the ads that it was showing.
Yeah, they didn't pay for those.
The NFL encouraged the networks to run the ads for free because the NFL wants Taylor to do the halftime show.
Yeah.
They want her to do a halftime show. So the NFL reached out to the network and said, run the ads for her movie. Yeah. And so that one was very much like, it was in your face the entire time. From the time it started, they showed her, the over-under was like 8.5, 9.5 times or something. I counted 12 times they cut to her. Plus, then they'd go to commercial, and it would be a commercial for a movie.
Or Travis.
It would be so much. And then the Amazon one was much better. But people are getting mad about it, and they're mad at Taylor and Travis. Like, they aren't controlling that. Right. They don't control that. Taylor Swift has literally said not one word public, like on the, in an interview, anything. Travis has talked about it a little bit on his podcast, but very like, obviously because they have to talk about it. They can't not talk about it, but it's been very minimal. Like they're not the ones asking for this or controlling it. And do you know why the networks are showing them? Do you know why all these articles are on there and all these things are all over social media? It's because people are clicking on them and they're making money from that.
I love that on Facebook when you see that people that are mad, they're like, why is this in my feed? And
because you're interacting with it.
Because you're interacting with it. If you comment on it, you're going to see more.
And you're going to see more of it. And that's why they're doing
it. There's a button on Facebook that says show less posts like this. That's the button you want to click. Don't comment.
And they're doing it because people are clicking it and they're getting views and they're
making money on ads on those pages.
And that's why they're doing it. So your hate and your anger over this directed at Travis and Taylor is directed at the wrong people.
Right.
Like, these are just two young, happy kids in love.
Can you imagine being that
and they're going to get married
and trying to date?
No, it's got to suck.
Well, yeah, and I think, Travis.
I mean, the money doesn't hurt, but that's got to suck.
Travis is famous, but I think now he's in a whole new world of he's not used to this.
Yeah.
Like he could get now he's talked about on his podcast, like it's weird having paparazzis outside of his house, and, like,
watching him buy
never
cigars.
Really had that, he's one of the more famous people in the NFL, yes, but now you're with Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift level of fame. But I'm happy for both of them. I think it's great. I think we have the most famous woman in the world is a Chiefs fan right now. So I think that is awesome. I think it's great. I mean, honestly.
And then Taylor Swift is also a Chiefs fan. I mean, number 1 is Candy Thunder.
Okay.
Number 2 is Taylor, right?
Got to get you a hype man like Dusty Thunder.
Wow. That was nice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stand in the back and be like, hey!
Well, honestly, yeah. Hey. And now,
Crushing it.
limping her way through the door.
Yeah.
Candy Thunder.
29?
Oh, I had something really good to say and I lost it. I lost it when my hype man started going.
29?
I just look, if you don't like Taylor Swift, that's fine. If you don't like Travis Kelce, that's fine. But there are people who like it, and there are people who are enjoying it, and there are literally millions of people watching the NFL for the first time, interacting with it and caring about it. Let them do it. Who cares? It doesn't affect your life. It doesn't bother you. It's not like they're going up to the line. Patrick is calling out a play. They snap the ball and he snaps the ball and they just show Taylor's reaction to see what's going to happen. Like, if they're not showing Taylor in those breaks on TV, if they're not doing that, they're just talking about some other random bullshit. Do you bitch about it when they show Jay-Z or when they show LeBron or they show any of those people in the stands? No, you don't. The other night I sent you a tweet. Like, I made a sarcastic tweet about the NFL showed, Jay-Z's in the building or whatever, and it was showing Jay-Z sitting in a suite and LeBron sitting in a suite, and I tweeted and I was like, oh my gosh, will you stop shoving this down the throat? I just want to watch the game. Stop showing me famous people all the time. Like, and if you scroll through the comments of that, was there any of that? No. They show Taylor Swift. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. This blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean,
it's like it's the cool thing to be on that bandwagon of, I'm so tired of this being shoved down my throat. Like, that's the thing. You're either a Taylor Swift fan or you're anti, like, this whole thing. And it's like, what does it matter?
This is new for the NFL to have like this level of famous people there, right? The NBA has had it figured out for a long time. Like, they've been celebrities have been courtside for a long time, and they've always shown them. That's always been a thing. It's new for the NFL, and they're tapping into a new audience here, and it would be dumb of them not to give that new audience a little bit of what they want to keep them around. Like, it, as a business decision, it would be stupid of them not to do that. What's interesting to me is the reactions that people have who are upset about it. They treat it as like a core pillar of existence, right? It's like religion, politics, and Travis and Taylor. Like, those are the things, they're hills that they are willing to die on. Like, they have strong enough feelings like that about it. And I'm like, I just, if you don't care, don't care. Like, the fact that you're getting angry about it and voicing an opinion about it shows that you do care. Right. I don't understand speaking up in opposition. You're not going to accomplish anything.
I don't understand, and not just Taylor, but if you don't like someone, like, tearing them down piece by piece by piece, in order, like, what purpose does that serve you to tear someone apart? Their looks, like, what they say, how they talk, how they act. Like, if you don't like them, don't like them. They don't have to exist in your life. But quit tearing human beings apart, because it's such bullshit.
Because in the end, Taylor is famous. She is rich. Travis is famous. He is rich. They're human beings. They're people like you and I. They put their pants on one leg at a time, although they might have somebody do it for them. I don't know. But they're people. And, just because they're in the situation that they're in doesn't make them any less human. And honestly, there are a lot shittier celebrities out there than those two people.
Well, there was one of the posts that was like Travis Kelce scoring sixes on and off the field. Yeah. Stop ranking women. Like, stop ranking men. You don't need a number by your name in order to say how attractive you are, because you can find someone. I find Dusty attractive. Maybe someone doesn't find him attractive. He finds me attractive. Maybe someone doesn't find me attractive. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have, I'm not going to go out because I see somebody and tear them apart because I don't think that they're attractive to me. It's just I'm so
Heaven
tired of
forbid
it.
the people who try to tear other people down find themselves in that situation in life where people are trying to tear them down, because then they'd have a completely different opinion about it.
And the guy that I saw share it has 2 daughters. And I'm like, can you imagine your daughters being ranked in high school? Because they're going to be ranked.
Right.
Can you imagine that? And they get a 6 and they're gonna hate themselves and think that they're disgusting. Like, quit. And you shared that. Like, you put that out in the world about somebody else, but you would never think it's okay for somebody to rank your daughters like that.
Yeah.
So why is it okay for you to rank somebody else's daughter like that?
And I think that's where the detachment of, them having this level of fame and forgetting that they're real human beings.
Yeah.
I think that's where that detachment comes in, where people can say and sling whatever shit they want to, and it doesn't matter because, it does matter because it's you saying that. Like, you're still a human being too, and that leaves a scar on your heart, I think, whenever you do shitty things like that, and it makes you a shittier and shittier and shittier
100% agree. You're creating your Horcruxes.
But what's funny,
and you're going to run out. You're going to rip your soul apart.
And what's funny with all of that is, like, you're saying this and you're slinging this shit to them and you're slinging shit to random people on the internet because you don't like it. But would you say that to them in person?
Oh.
All these people are saying, I hate Taylor Swift. If she walked in the room right now, would you take a picture with her?
Oh,
I bet you would. Bet your ass you would.
Absolutely.
You know you would.
I love the people that are like, you couldn't pay me to walk across the street to her concert. And I'm like, nobody's going to pay you to go see her in concert.
And I think a lot of it comes with, I think it's where the root of a lot of things are when people spew that hate is jealousy. Like, I see a lot of, I have people that are on that I've seen on Facebook that have just ripped apart Taylor from the beginning of this. And I've said it from the beginning. I'm like, it's because you love Travis Kelce and you want to be with Travis Kelce, and you're never going to be with Travis Kelce, honey. So just let him have Taylor Swift. It's fine. But it comes from the jealousy of it. Like, listen, like, and again, we watch women make comments about Taylor Swift, and it's like, now listen, if a guy said that about you,
oh gosh,
you would throw your drink at him.
Right.
Like, but yet you say this about another woman, but you don't want that. And so it's like, it all comes from, a lot of that hate comes from jealousy, whether it's somebody on the internet commenting on some random person, or it's coming at a celebrity. You're jealous because they have what you don't.
Women are mean.
How do you think?
I like think.
How do you think?
How do you think?
How do you think?
How do you guys think that because Travis and Taylor are real people, that they know that there's this backlash out there? How do you think they feel about that?
I mean, Travis has said on his podcast that he thinks they're overdoing it.
Well, no, he was talking about like the backlash of people being mean.
The haters.
I think, here's what I think. If when you and I was dating, falling in love, whatever you want to call it, if there had been people that didn't want it to happen or hated it, I wouldn't have cared, because I enjoyed that process of like the dating and the getting to know somebody and the falling in love part. Like, it's one of the like honeymoon phases. Like, the best part of a relationship is getting to know that person. So I wouldn't care what other people were saying, because I feel like she knows and he knows that they have enough fans out there that love them, that you do not have to listen to the haters.
Well, I'm certain, because of who she is and the experience that she has with the public eye, she has learned to compartmentalize. Obviously,
she just shakes it off.
But
she has learned that. Now, Travis has not yet been exposed to this level of hate.
I think he is.
Oh, he was with his.
He had his dating show.
His Pfizer commercial.
So I think that he also is in that.
You think he can compartmentalize?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big things with Taylor and Travis, is that this is the first time I think that Taylor has been with somebody with the level of confidence that he has in himself and who he is, and it's also the first person who isn't downplaying that he's with Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah,
he knows he's got a prize.
He holds her hand like a football.
He is protective of her. I mean, if you look at the way he looks when somebody on the podcast when he talks about Taylor, when he does seeing them together, like Like he knows. And I think that's something that she hasn't ever really had is a hype man. And she's got a hype man now. Like,
He's a smitten
that's
kitten.
Taylor Swift. Like, look at her. Who wouldn't love her? Look how awesome she is. Like,
his brother asking about Travis pushing shoving the security guard out of the way.
I was just putting my back, like I'm behind you.
He's like shoving him.
Yeah.
He's like, it's on video.
But just seeing that, like he's very protective of her. And I mean,
as he should be.
I mean, obviously the smudged lipstick and red lipstick in his beard. I mean, obviously he's going pretty well.
Who's the creator that made the bodyguard video? I sent it to you, but oh my gosh, that creator! I have to give this person.
It is so funny, but
a shout out because it was the funniest.
I think that's why.
I saw a clip of it.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I think that's why it's going so well. The way it's going is because I think that, like, I mean, it's no secret. All of the guys that she's been with in the past, and Travis is a 180-degree polar opposite of anybody she's ever been with. But how he talks about her and treats her and how this is something I don't think she's ever had. I don't think she's ever had that. And you can just see how she's not afraid to go out there in public. She's not afraid to be out there and not hide it. And like, she's going to go out and have fun and go to drinks and have dinner and go to the games and have a blast at the games. Like she's bringing her friends, she's having fun. So let them have fun. Let them enjoy it. And he's treating her well and she's being good to him. Like, it's fine. Like, what's wrong with that?
And we will tell you, as representatives of Chief's Kingdom, we welcome the Queen.
Always.
Dude,
I am stoked that she's there every week.
We welcome any fans that want to be part of the Chiefs. You want to be a bandwagon fan and have fun with the Chiefs? Come on.
Cool.
Like, we'll welcome you. We do not care.
Quit driving my ticket prices up, though, please.
Except Raiders fans.
That's true.
Except Raiders fans.
Tickets are hard right now.
But even they asked Andy Reid about it, and he's like, he loves it that she's there. Like, it's great. Like, it's great for the team. It's great for
he
for
joked
the fans.
that he set them up.
He did joke that he set them up. It sounds like Aaron Andrews was really the one who set him up. But no, I think it's great, and I hope it lasts forever. I hope they get married. I hope she lives in Kansas City, and I hope they have babies, and I just hope it's fantastic.
You know, the Aaron Andrews.
Tony's got his dreams.
I've got my dreams.
The Aaron Andrews setup that you talked about is even more serendipitous because Aaron Andrews came out with a line of NFL apparel for women. And Taylor was wearing an Aaron Andrews jacket.
She sent it to her.
Oh, she sent it to her?
Yeah, she sent her when that thing came out about the friendship bracelet and Travis, like on his podcast, she sent Taylor Swift. She said, give our guy a try. And then she sent the package.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Or after the first game that she
comes to every game. I have seen, again, the inside sources say that the bye week lines up perfect with her restarting her tour in South America. And you and actual other sources have said that like they're both all in and that he is planning on being there and going. And I mean, that's awesome. I think it's great. I'm like, and look, who doesn't love love? It's a good love story.
I have one more question for you before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift album? Top number one. Only one.
Okay.
Only one sits in that spot. What is number one? And that's the last question.
What's yours? You don't have a number one. Not right now of all time.
Of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's Reputation.
You're like me. You have a 1A and 1B.
It's Reputation. But I'm cycling through Folklore and Evermore right now, and I'm very much enjoying those albums. So, but Reputation, it's the Jam album. It's my number one.
It's a bop.
It's a bop.
While I am very much enjoying the red air that she's in right now, I'm gonna have to say Reputation too. I think it is a truly, and I think she has a couple of them, but it is truly a no skip album. Every song on it is fantastic. The concert is fantastic. The Reputation concert was fantastic. And I think that period of time in her life where she's just a badass when she put that out, like she was like, listen, I'm putting it all out there and like
it was
a
good.
badass. Dusty?
I would default to Reputation because that's the one concert that I've been to was during the Reputation tour. I do really enjoy the songs from it, but I got to say that right now, I think Midnights is probably number one.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth in my head from Midnights to Reputation.
I find myself choosing to listen to songs from Midnights more than Reputation. So that's going to earn the top spot. And also, we can't be like all three the same.
Yeah,
so.
my 1A and 1B though is Reputation and Speak Now. They could be interchanged, but I would probably say Reputation has the edge. Which you have a 1A and 1B too.
Yeah, it would be Reputation and Midnights. And then Folklore, Speak Now, and Evermore are all tied.
Boy, you have really moved Folklore and Evermore up the list.
I really, really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I love the vibe of them. Champagne Problems is
more
really
chill.
good.
I will say I have never really given Evermore and Folklore much of a chance, but
They're just so beautifully written.
I'm working on Folklore right now, and I am finding songs on there that I'm like, ooh, that's actually
I will
good.
say that I've said this before, but her and Jason Mraz writing a song together, lyrics, I mean, that would be the most epic song of my life. Because I love Jason Mraz. I love his lyrics. And I think I'm more about the lyrics of a song. Dusty's more about the sound of a song, the music.
More about the melody and the music.
Yeah. And, but the lyrics for me, for Taylor Swift is what drew me in, because I think she's one of the most epic songwriters of all time.
And Folklore and Evermore are much more storytelling.
Yes, in which
singer-songwriter albums.
I love that. And I love that there's nothing behind those songs. Like, it's not about a specific time in her life. It's about her creativity and imagination. And I think that's why they feel so fun and like whimsical, and something that it's just easy to me. Like, I just like those.
And the last quick note on this is that you talk about like you like that those songs aren't based on like anything in her life. The narrative of the whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Oh, she's going to write a song about him. She's going to write a song about him. Oh, what's she going to write about him? Listen, turn on the radio, go to Spotify, pick out a song from your favorite rapper, your favorite country singer, your favorite R&B person. What the do you think they're writing about?
Relationships.
They're writing about their relationships. They're writing about the girl that they love, the shawty at the club. Like, that's what they're writing about. They're writing about sex, relationships. If it's country, you throw your dog and your mama in there, and that's what you're writing about. But listen, so this narrative of she's the only person in the entire world who has written a song about her exes. Give me a break. That's what songs are about. That's what people are writing about. They're writing about their relationships. They're writing about love. They're writing about their wife. They're writing about that. That's what they're writing about. Just because the media makes it a spectacle of her exes and of, oh, who's this song about? Who's this song about? Do they ask Drake what girl his songs are about?
Nope.
Drake, what's that song Hot Sauce about?
Like, do they ask anybody else? Do they ask anybody else in the music industry?
No, it's because
who's
she's the
that
most
song
famous
about?
one.
Who's that song about? No, but who's that song about?
Also, I just
It's like, come on.
Closing note.
Break.
Come up with a new like dig at Taylor. Besides, she's going to write a song about him.
Yeah.
Like, invent something.
I would
new.
love for her to write a song about me. Travis probably will love for her to write a song about him too.
Tony, he's like, this is about me. It's my song.
But I mean, it's like, come on. Yeah. You need
song.
a new, it's very tired. It's a very tired, like, oh, he's going to write a song about me. Yeah. Well, guess what?
Travis's song is going to be something about mustaches and Coors Light problems.
He's a Bud Light guy.
Is he a Bud Light guy?
Yeah.
He's
sponsored by Bud
Is
Light.
it Pat that's a Coors Light guy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So Bud Light problems. There you go.
I don't understand it.
Bud Light problems. I love it.
All right, we'll go ahead and close up here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We went in so many different effing directions today that I'm sure it was it was a roller coaster, but we had fun as always, and we thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Can we take a 2-minute break so I can pee real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Or you guys can talk.
Oh, sure. He wants to break during the Taylor portion. How convenient.
I'm about to wet myself, and
I
was like, I could just try to sneak out of the frame here, but I don't think that would work. Something. Maybe we re-injured it last night.
Oh my God. Stop. You are being so gross.
Oof.
making Tony uncomfortable.
We'll just say the Navy headbutted it. She headbutted the knee too.
I don't know.
Your thing was up here?
Her thing is on full. It's up here.
Her thing is up here, not down here. It's up here.
Cutting this part out. And he always pulls it out. Like, I mean, oh my God. You guys.
Only in private.
Grow up. Jesus. Okay.
You can't.
He always pulls it off, is what I meant to say.
You can't just tee it up like that and expect us to not take a swing.
He always pulls it off. This is just my messing up sayings. He always pulls it out. It's clearly not true. Oh, it's too much. My cheeks are flushing.
Thank you for watching the last episode ever of Thunder and Spark.
The last episode of Dusty ever.
Yeah, it'll just be the two of them on Thunder and Spark.
Yeah, my cheeks are flushing.
Tony is clearly very excited.
Okay. You
Look,
just had to make. Okay.
It's a.
Regroup.
Was that like a?
Yes.
Okay.
It was. Yeah.
It's like, how did you not get that?
I didn't get it. I thought we were just being funny, guys. I'm not.
I just think it was funny he was thinking it was funny for the wrong reasons. I just thought it was funny.
It was all funny
Like
for
epic,
all the
if
reasons.
that's an actual thing.
All the reasons, all the things.
Move tables.
Very, very impressive. Don't act like you're not impressed. Okay. Anyway.
Take it for walks.
What did you just say?
If it can reach out, move tables. Do you have to like take it for walks? It's like its own person.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm laughing so hard I can't conceal my bad laugh.
Now I'm getting sweaty.
I'm getting
Okay.
I'm crying.
Okay.
I'm cut all of that out.
Stay tuned for the excellent blooper reel at the end of the Thunder
Taylor.
and Spark.
Taylor and Travis.
That's how we can ensure people will actually watch the whole thing. Bloopers at the end.
We have to go back and cut thing in the front that's like, stay tuned for bloopers.
Please.